Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Vivid Voltage, make sure you go ahead and check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using the code Omnipoke. For today's video, we are going to be going over another interesting one prize deck from Vivid Voltage. Seems like there's a ton of them. This time with Donphan and the obvious partner of Spiritomb. Thanks to Earthquake dealing damage to your own bench, you can turn that downside into a nice upside to speed up the process of ramping your Spiritomb's Anguish Cry into really good damage output, whilst also having a very nice typing in Donphan. We've seen Pikachu and Zekrom has remained relevant throughout the previous format, and, you know, Eternatus obviously weak to fighting as well. Even if you're not able to one-shot Eternatus, I mean, we do play Dojo in here, but even just doing 240 to it is putting it in really nice two-shot range, and when you're a one-prize deck two-shotting into a three-prizer, that's not a bad thing, to be honest. So, yeah, Donphan can boast really good typing. Obviously, of course, you can hit Dedennes and Crobats for weakness, so you can one-shot those for easy uptrades as well. There's plenty of reasons to like Donphan. We've seen how well Excadrill has done in this format. Well, in the previous format, I should say, it's worked its way up to being like a nice tier 2 rogue, and I feel that's where Donphan Spiritomb is probably going to place itself as an alternate option. So yeah, let's jump into the 60. We'll start off with Donphan. First of all, the Phanpy actually isn't just a vanilla card that you're going to launch pad into, because it has the strike back attack for fighting and colorless. You do 30 times each damage counter on this Pokemon. Sounds familiar because it's basically Anguish Cry without the 10 base damage, which is pretty decent. It's a 2 energy attack cost, so it doesn't get weaved in all that often, but if you happen to have excess attachments here or there, you may want to hold off evolving into Donphans at points just to get that strike pack option for that 30 multiplier. Pretty decent. For Donphan, 150 hit points is pretty chunky for stage 1, which is nice to see. It means that hopefully other one prize like tech Pokemon in decks aren't good enough to get through the Donphan because he's just so like thick. So hopefully it forces out 2 and 3 prize Pokemon into the active, which means we have to gust a little bit less, which is nice. And like I said, Earthquake is the build around here. 120 and dealing 20 to each of your own bench. Not really a downside. Now, there are some scary things in Vivid Voltage, like Orbital VMAX, which I've not got to work just yet, but I'm sure some people will be experimenting with, which is a little bit scary. But in general, we're going to try and use that to pump damage onto our own Spiritombs, our own Phanpy. Anything that's sort of sat on the bench can take damage counters. We can jinx them off to, again, help the Spiritomb damage output. So yeah, this like downside is something you do have to kind of play around, but in general it's upside for speeding up your Spiritombs, which is very cool. Heavy impact's too expensive, don't worry about that attack, you'll basically never use it. For those of you unfamiliar with Spiritomb, here's another look at it. It's a dark type basic that has Building Spite as its ability, allowing you to place a damage counter on yourself. Why would you want to do that? Thanks to Anguish Cry, dealing 30 times each damage counter on it with a 10 base as well. Dark typing, not the best, to be honest. It's not really hitting much for weakness, but with the help of Toughness Cape, we can increase our hit points to 110. So with enough damage counters on us, we can really scale into those high 200s. And even beyond that. So yeah, that's we can get to 310 as our maximum with 10 damage counters on ourselves, and the 10 base. So 310 is our absolute damage output cap. But really, you know, being able to hit into tag team range is really, really solid. So yeah, we'll take that on Spiritomb for sure. Those are the things you're going to want to put on the bench early. So Donphan spreading, and it means that you're not relying on having turn after turn of an extra stage 1 here and there. Hopefully the Spiritombs can finish things off that you've hit with Donphan previously, or just be that sort of late game sweep, which is definitely a nice thing. It's a really nice option to have, whereas not many other one prize decks out there can weave in basic Pokemon as well as having their stage 1 counterpart, so it just really eases the burden of having to, you know, like rod back in a bunch of stuff and like Com and Great Ball into those cards like over and over again. The Spiritombs just being sat there is such a good deal for you. We are playing Stellar Wish Jirachi. It makes a lot of sense to me to have a engine where you play Scoop Up Net, because it's really nice to obviously Stellar Wish around. Jynx as well is something that you might want to pick up and put down to get extra damage counters around on your Spiritombs. And Jirachi's just a good early game card for getting you ball search cards, most importantly, because you do kind of want to kick things off with Donphan. He's normally like far better than leading out with Spiritomb, unless you're trying to hit very specific numbers. Because Donphan hitting that 120 early out the gates is a lot better than most Spiritomb damage by turn 2. Without some crazy combos going on. So still wishing towards as many ball searches as possible, especially Phanpy is going to be a really big deal, and just making sure we have supporters throughout the game as well is never a bad thing. The Jynx in here mostly for that ability, Ominous Posture, so we can build Spite as well as then steal damage counters that Donphan's put on our other things to A, protect them from getting KO'd by Donphan's attack in the first place, but B, to move them onto Spiritombs to maximize your damage output. We are playing a Mew because we're dealing so much damage to ourselves. We don't want easy spread damage to ruin our plans. So Mew's going to be helpful there. And as with most one prize Pokemon decks, you're kind of worried about Pikarom doing a big double knockout snipe. Not so much Pikarom in this deck because you have Donphan, but still things like Inteleon. And again, if you're worried about Orbeetle and other spread-based decks out there, Mew's going to be a nice saving grace there. The final one prizer. Oh, sorry, the final Pokemon we're playing is a 2-prizer, and it's the Dedenne-GX, just for some instant draw. You can see that I'm not playing Oricorio GX in the deck, mostly because I'm concerned about space on the board. Oftentimes you want to have multiple Spiritombs available, a Phanpy as well as a Donphan in the active, a Jirachi to pivot into. I haven't felt that Oricorio is proactive enough to be put into the deck. For the trainers, we're playing one copy of Ordinary Rod to recycle the most important attackers in the matchup, or potentially some of the one-offs that we have if they do get picked off. One copy of Great Catcher. I've noted how nice Donphan is at just dealing with the Dedennes. It's also great at, again, finishing off tag teams and stuff that retreat to the bench, as we are mostly two-shotting those guys unless it's super late game for the Spiritomb. And again, Spiritomb also gets into easy numbers to deal with the likes of the Dedenne, so Great Catcher is very nice there to go alongside our boss's orders. A ton of ball search cards, 2 Great Ball, 2 Calm, and 4 Quick Ball. Hopefully gets us into all of our dudes quickly. You could lean in even more into the Great Balls, honestly. I've played like 4 Great Ball in this deck before and just had like no stadium whatsoever. But right now, I'm going with this 8, and honestly, I could see more spaces being dedicated to ball search cards because I'm so scared of the early turns whenever you're using an evolution-based deck. The Scoop Up Net's obvious synergy with Jirachi, and like I said, you can heal things that you're putting too much damage on, or you can reuse things like Jynx to also heal things, so yeah, decent. 2 Switch to just lean more into the Stellar-Wish, and also move out of the chonky Donphan as well at times. 2 Martial Arts Dojo, it gives you an extra 10 damage, and if you're behind, it gives you an extra 40 damage. It can be a really annoying way to... well, it can make this deck very annoying to play against, because you can do some scary one-shot numbers against like Eternatus if they want to go early on tempo. And it can make you much better against generic tag teams, where you can go 130 into 170 for the 300 damage, or 120 into 160, which is 280 as well. So if you're setting up a 2-shot, the Dojo actually makes that much easier with 2 Donphans back to back. If you're just hitting into a tag team, they respond, take a knockout, you Dojo, get your next Donphan up, you've knocked out a tag team. So that's the main idea there. 3 copies of Boss's Orders. Like I said, you love grinching those Crobats and Dedennes. Fantastic for you. So high boss count, very nice there. And we're finishing things off. 3 copies of Marnie and 4 copies of Research. The standard draw supporters, the best ones in the game, essentially. 3 Cape of Toughness to increase the damage output potential of Spiritomb. Do be careful of committing too many Toughness Capes onto your board at once, because Tool Scrapper is still somewhat played in the format. I think potentially more played than in the past in the Vivid Voltage meta, because I can certainly see Colossal playing things like buff padding, and I can certainly see Luke Metalization getting another boost in the set with Coating Metal Energy. And they're always playing a ton of tools that are defensive as well. So it makes a lot of sense for there to be a little bit more scrapper in the format, potentially. So that's a small concern for this kind of rogue archetype, that people will be punishing you if you get too overzealous with caping up your Spiritombs and stuff. I'm also playing 2 copies of Lucky Egg. I find this... actually, although it's not proactive draw, it's kind of... I feel like it's better than a 4th Marnie in the deck, and like potentially an Oricorio in here. I initially had Oricorio in, then realized that my board space is always too full for Oricorio, and I thought, you know what, Lucky Egg is kind of like that middle ground where it's getting you a few extra draws here and there. in that mid game to just sort of stabilize you, to be honest. You could just invest this into more early game, like Great Balls and an extra money if you want to, or like a Rosa potentially, or a Piers. Both of those 1 or 2 obs I think wouldn't be the worst. But Lucky Egg's kind of like that placeholder card. If you have other things that you feel are lacking in the list right now, the Lucky Eggs seem to be my most flexible spots, but they've been decent enough for me to just keep them right now. Because even if you're just getting like 3 or 4 draws, you know, it's getting you to your next Donphan, it's getting you to hopefully a supporter and that sort of stuff. So it's been reasonable enough. Again, it's a placeholder. If Scrapper is heavy in the format, the Lucky Egg gets much worse, but for now I'm enjoying it. And then for the energy, we're playing for Aurora, so it can work off of Donphan and Spiritomb, and potentially even weave in Tingly Return GX, our only GX attack option if need be. And then we are playing 3 fighting and 2 dark. Like I said, I'm playing the 3rd copy of the fighting because that's the one you want to find earlier, because you're hoping to attack turn 2 with a Donphan. So you have, in theory, more time to assess, or well, access, I should say, your dark energies to use the Spiritomb to attack with. So yeah, 6 outs with the basic dark energies to attack with Spiritomb, 7 for the Donphan by turn 2, and you have Ordinary Rod that can recycle these. That's why you're not seeing any stone fighting energy or high darkness energy, because I want the Ordinary Rod to be live as quickly as possible, because 4 research is our main draw supporter. You basically play the Rod when you see it. Hopefully it's late on in the game. Sometimes it's early, and you want to still cash in on whatever value you can get if you feel that it's important enough to recover the right energy that you're digging for, potentially that turn even. So yeah, I could see some minor upside to playing stone fighting, like jumping to 170 hit points is not bad for you as Donphan, and getting free retreat on Spiritomb also never a bad thing. But with only 1 Ordinary Rod on the deck, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, let's just play the basics right now and cash in on those. So yeah, other things that I've really thought about for this list, basically it's just more ball search cards, because I'm kind of paranoid that I'll miss my Donphan. 4th copy of Donphan, not the worst either. You could think about weaving in 1 amazing red Jirachi. Obviously it shares the same name as Stellar Wish, so you would have to have a 3-1 split, but it means that potentially if you were like running low on Switch and Scoop Up Net outs, you could then weave in like 1 U-turn board into the list and have like a constant pivot if you really wanted to. And like I said, if you want to weave in Rosa, if you want to weave in Piers, not the worst options. If you are going for the Piers option, you can think about adding in things like Crobat, Zigzagoon, because you are playing Scoop Up Net. And maybe even like 1 copy of a Hooper, Evil Admonition, or the one that does 1 for 90. All of those are decent options, to be honest, if you want to have some early tempo, because this deck doesn't really have early pressure at all. Spiritomb's early pressure is like 40, which isn't that good. Sometimes it can do a little poke into like tag teams and stuff that could be surprising later on in the game, but usually it's not doing a huge shift for you. So having something that could dish out 90 on turn 1 if you're going second with like a Hooper could be pretty beneficial. Right now with only 6 switch outs, I don't feel like we have enough to really back a one-of like that in the deck. So that's why we're not. But it could be something that you work towards. You could definitely reduce the Donphan line a lot and look more to like a Spike Muff Hooper Tomb based deck, and now you just have a little bit of extra type coverage in there. Well, we got to see how the format shapes up, really. We'll see how impactful Colossal actually is on the meta, how much that deck basically stamps out the Lightning decks and the Eternatus of the world. If Donphan's not hitting anything for weakness outside of like Dedenne and Crobat, he gets less valuable. But I think early on in the meta, you're going to get a lot of value from that guy. So we'll see how Donphan performs early on. As we jump into the ladder with him, like I said, there's a ton of one prize decks in Vivid Voltage. And I'm interested to see which ones actually stick, because right now in the meta, it's like there's no one is checking Baby Blounds at all. It's like Baby Blounds is the only successful 1 prize deck, and it's so successful against so many of the 2 and 3 prize decks in the format that some of these other 1 prize decks have to come out and actually try and challenge here, right? Because it's just silly without it. Okay, so we have a couple options. Obviously, we're going first. That's a Larvesta. Volcarona is actually super scary for us because we damage our own stuff. Man, do I have to Dedenne change this hand? I think I do. I was thinking if I could just Scoop Up Net Stellar Wish, but I think that's just pretty bad. Let's get a fresh hand here. Getting rid of the rod kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, decent amount of ball search. I will start with the Great Ball. We'll definitely take this. Do I make a Spiritomb? Yeah. We may be going down to a 0-card hand next turn. Aurora Energy removing our top deck, essentially. We'll see. The only thing is, like, I'm pretty happy just making a Donphan and attacking with it, because it's sat there, it's doing pressure, and I've got a Lucky Egg established, so it's actually not that bad. It looks pretty bad, but it's not that bad. Okay, they're getting frisky with the Larvesta here. Crobatting for 1. Protecting. Okay, well, Crobat's weak to fighting, so... the old let's make a Donphan strat is pretty good here. Our top deck is strong, but I think just take the 2 prizes and keep the... I just think guaranteed tempo is good. When we only play 7 energy for the Donphan, this feels super risk averse, and it probably could punish us, and like I would like an extra Spiritomb, and I would like an extra Phanpy in play. Let's actually consider this. This is... you gotta live a little, right? Okay. Oh, you hate to see it. This is... You hate to see it. Always play defensive. Always. Never listen to the people who say, but you could have it all. Because you could end up like me right now. Feeling pretty sad. Embarrassing. Okay. Well, I wish I'd just drawn something that wasn't a research and just had that decision taken away from me, you know? Alright, we see that big boy Volcarona GX. You can tell that I haven't played on the ladder for a while. I'm just doing friend battles these days for the OP League. But this is a bit of a feels bad man right now. He's weltering to retreat. Feels good. We missed out on a free 2 prizes. Who'd have thunk it? But hey, we're getting Lucky Egg activation. Where do you even start committing these pings? He's not even committing pings. Okay. Oh, he is committing pings. Okay, so does he play Tool Scrapper then? He only makes that play if he plays Scrapper, right? Well, this Marnie's going to be very solid. I know we had the Jirachi option, but I actually think I want to keep the Scoop Up Nets available for healing, because I am concerned about this Volcarona. Like, if he makes multiple, it feels like it could be something that becomes a problem. So I'm going to hold off on any building of spite, because I don't want to get caught into a big scrapper play. Already a couple welders played. He already has the half to access the energies, but it's not necessarily easy for him to do much with a hand like this right now. A low hand size, I should say. Alright, research isn't welder, so he could just be giving us the GX attack this turn. As he tries to build. Oh wow, Salazzle. So he's probably playing a ton of crystals. What from Vivid Voltage comes out makes this any better? I don't know. Doesn't sound like a lot. We'll see. I'm curious, I guess. Alright, there's the giant hearth. Getting some red energies, flavors. Alright, yeah, I can see a flaming shot as well. This time Jirachi's the man getting dinged. And we see that. Okay. Researching gives me the option to boss next turn. But I'm kind of paranoid without a rod of running out of energy cards. So this time we will play defensive. How's that sound? Scoop Up Net's a very nice pickup because I think I want to heal this Jirachi next turn. Before falling prey to more ping diddy dings. Alright, that's a Salazzle online. Does need to establish some more attackers, but he can always weld it to stuff, so anything could be hitting the board and instantly attacking me. Anything from like Cramorant to Heatran can GX through this on if he needs to. Could even be like a Blown, who knows? There could be all sorts in here. We'll see. Weldering to this guy to draw cards. Okay, okay. 60 damage doesn't sound like a good number, but he's throwing it into the active anyways. Respect. Big respect. And don't you know it, we draw an energy straight away. Okay. I think we just take the 2. I'm making the play with the Spiritomb now because I'm trying to play around Scrapper. I think it's only really Scrapper and like random combinations of Volcarona pings that gets us in trouble here. Alright, Volcarona coming in. All the Salazzles. How many energies down? Well, Giant Hearth is going to grab a couple more. Yeah, right, he's going to hold off on any more roasting and just hit us. Let's wish. That's pretty much the card that we're after. We're at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I need to find Jynx off the research. If I had been more all in with the old spites, we'd be fine. But we do hit the Jynx, okay. Alright, well, it's not really a matchup that you're used to seeing, and not really one I think we'll see too much again, but shows the deck setting up, I guess. We'll chalk that up and go on to the next one, shall we? Sounds like a plan to me. Pretty clutch Stellar-ish. Getting us out of the game before we saw more shenanigans from them. Is this the same guy? I've been playing PTCGO for a few hours today, so maybe I'm just recognizing people who I've already played today rather than just now. We'll see. Letting us kick off, so they are probably playing a welding deck. We have a big mulligan to start things off. And we have Jynx, Scoop Up Net double quick ball, and 2 Donphans in hand. Okay. Rowegg. Rowegg sounds problematic because it's almost definitely going to be playing some healing. Spiritomb's a good pickup for us. Knowing that he's probably just going to super growth straight away, I don't really need to go instant Dedenne, do I? Or do I just... How many Donphans do I have in the deck? We still have 1. And the fighting typing's not super relevant. I've only just realised that I've got my my phone on, which I'm going to put on silent now. We do have the Rod. We still have 1 Donphan, so I'm not too opposed to just going for the quick Stellar Wish. See what we see from the Wish, I think, before deciding the second quick ball. With the research pickup, do I just kill a Donphan and make another Phanpy? He's always super growthing, right? I feel like a tempo tomb is never going to be a problem, so we can toss the... Spiritomb's never doing enough damage into a healing deck early game, so I think I'll play like this. Try and represent some pressure, you know? Feels okay. Look at him. Okay. He's getting chonky out here. All of my fears being realized. A deck like this is always kind of worried about the healing potential of decks. Rillaboom Rowegg, potentially with Zarude V, could have a lot of healing accessible to it, so little concerning. Little concerning. Tomb can reach that nice 200 baseline quite quickly if we can take multi-prize knockouts on Zarude Vs at least. I imagine that's the only thing he's experimenting with if he's trying out new stuff. Marnie's an option that I don't want to take. Alright, we hit Energy and Switch out, which is solid. I think we're making... Making some tombs. I think I'll take the money just to Aurora away. And I want the extra damage on the board, so I'm going to switch into Donphan rather than Scoop Up Net. And let's get some juicy spread going on our dudes. All right. Sinlin. It's not crazy. So with the heal, we've got to hit 210 this turn. 210's in our range, quite not too difficult for us. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. So we've got to find a tool to get there. But with the Jynx shenanigans, we can get there. Let's start with this. Okay. Well, we wouldn't have wanted to research into that, so that's not too bad for us. Never Dedenne. Alright, at least we have more threats against him. I'm continuing to toss away monies, I think. Now we're actually posturing back off of ourselves. Because we have the build. Little unfortunate, but there we are. So, Rowegg's doing its job. I imagine he'll Tropical Hour this turn. Oh no, wait, what am I talking about? Tropical Hour is not the heal. I always think about Tropical Hour as a healing effect, but it's like all the other stuff that he plays that's the healing effects. Right, there's a big Hyper Pot. You can see just how much one spread of Donphan does for the deck though, right? You can see how impactful that actually is. So he's back at 200. That's a lot of health. This isn't easy. We probably need to Scoop Up Net Jynx again. So with that in mind, I'm not going to go for the Jirachi, because I need to commit Stellar Wishes to Jynx anyways, and I've played to Switch. What I would have done for that Lucky Egg last turn. Okay. I need such specific cards, but I still want to get a Spiritomb back. We still have Dedenne Change in here as well. Okay, Dedenne Change is going to be used, no doubt. 2 Scoop Up Nets in here. And we've got to find the other tool. Did we get there? Is that 200? Build. Three, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 to 10 is 7 in the thing, so I need to do this. Math! Build Spite while I'm at it. Smack. Alright, it's a lot of work, but we're getting there. I think next turn I've got to weave in a Donphan. Because we're running low on the Turbo Tomb power, and we got to put more damage on our board. Buzzmosa. Buzzwole Samosa. Beast Game GX looking juice. The good news is it's another 3 prize Pokemon, so like we only need to kill that, you know? So he's setting up for Elegant Soul to be game. We've already used all of our monies, so there's no hand disruption here. There's no boss played from him so far, so this is looking like the big L to me. Heal is always going to be a problem. Oh, Toughness Cape? Do you work on this guy? No, you don't work on this guy. Dang it. Thought we top decked into the clear. Do I put the Mew down just in case he's going to do some punch shenanigans? This would be an embarrassing way to lose if he... I mean, if he has Gust, he beats us anyways. I guess I'll play around a Tool Scrapper. Well, Boss Man still looking pretty good for him. Yep, very nice. Well, healing's still an issue. Healing's still an issue for us. Not much I can really say about that. Not that they use like Malolan or anything, but the Calming Hurricane. Plus Big Charm. Like, we had a chance to kill him that turn. We had to, like, wimp out of it by doing, like, weird Jynx stuff back from where we'd put it in the first place. If we find the Toughness Cape on the first turn, you know, we're very far ahead, but giving him the extra turn. Beast Game obviously good against 1 prize decks as well for helping them catch up. So... Alright, very nice workable hand here. You love seeing Jirachi start double Phanpy already with the Quick Ball. Looking pretty solid here. And we're up against a Lightning deck, which is even better. I'm going to toss away a Darkness Energy. And when you know you're against a Lightning deck, I think the only thing you do is try not to completely brick and grab another one of these. Trying not to brick sounds like a good deal to me. Won't worry about attaching because they sometimes play 4 hammers, so we'll chill. We will chill. Even with type advantage, they do play big charms, so Donphan's not always killing Pikarom in one hit. They're still stamp-based as well, so we're not taking these for granted, even though we have a good prize trade in this matchup, but in theory, this is kind of your meat and drink, you know. Spiritomb Beast used to be pretty good at beating Pikarom for a similar reason. You had one Buzzwole turn, and that was enough to make it a favored. Oh, actually Marnieing the perfect hand. He knew we had research, but the hand was super good. Hand's still pretty okay. We've got net. Ooh, okay, so it's yellow Mewtwo. The Tord and Pedro special. The secret Players' Cup deck. That almost could. Very almost could. So this makes it a much more balanced matchup, right? He's got a couple things that we can, like, Great Catcher up and take advantage of, potentially, if he uses Bolton turn 1 to power up Mewtwo. Donphan's going to have a couple nice early game prizes, but Mewtwo's more of a hurdle to get through. Alright, so it's going to be a basic to Boltons to start powering up Mewtwo by the looks of things. Sounds good to me. There's already 6 prizes laid out in easy fighting type weak Pokemon as well. Things to bear in mind. We will wish. We will stellar whiff. We will stellar whiff again. Making Spiritomb still sounds pretty good to me. Alright, 2 Great Balls, looking solid. Nice. There's the Don. We may as well bounce this. More Doms, looking good. Nothing better than hitting the Boltund, I don't think. We can try and pressurize the Mewtwo if we want to. Try and set that up for a 2-shot. What do we think about that play? We put a lot of damage onto our tombs. He's always killing Donphan, so I'm never getting to boss next turn unless I take fighting from prizes. If I do the boss play, it's kind of rough for me to like boss into boss into boss. I think I'm just going to research. I do have a good deck. Thanks for noticing. Not going to put it on the front guy because the hand's too big. Alright, there's Donphan boss play for next turn. Putting a Mewtwo down is going to be putting a Mew down is going to be solid against Tag Bolt. So now, based on the hand we're holding, I mean, we'll see where the hand takes us. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. They can play Marnies and Stamps, so... But if the hand stays, we probably just go attach boss. Crushing Hammer, Surely you're killing me active already. I guess you're DAA changing. That makes sense. Alright, Cherishing. Needs to make another Mewtwo, I guess. Pre-research? Pre-more ball search? Three Marnies down from him. I only just realized that. That's super good for us. There it is. Tip your cap fetched. Tip your fedora fetched. Alright, so he's just lumping it onto the Mewtwo. Makes sense, because I'm not dealing with it anytime soon. To make sure these symbols are weak to fighting. We have the Great Catcher, which is why I'm doing this one. We'll try not to self-knock out our own Spiritomb. Lucky Egg protects us a little bit from Stamp. Slash if he Elder Gosses Armani. We are currently lacking the energy card that we require. But we in range. Both Spiritombs are in range. We have Stellar Wish to fall back on. So let's see the Crushing Punch. So 6, 7, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 210, 240, 250. So I can also kill him with Jynx net plays. How many switch outs do I still have? Okay. A lot of switch outs. Great Catcher Research looking good to me. Alright, he's not waiting around to see it. Fair dues. Alright, seeing as though the first two games were really wacky matchups, we'll have one more. We did find one yellow deck on the ladder. And that's what we're out here trying to punish, so that's cool. We'll have one more game. Because I'm enjoying it. I'm just enjoying playing some Donphan. Donphan's an awesome Pokemon. He's had so much love in the TCG in the past. He's been, you know, Spinning Turn, Donphan Prime. Yeah, so, some of the coolest cards to play with. So getting another one that's semi-playable it's a real treat to use him again. Have we got to go first every time? What a dream. This hand is bad. Good thing we got Toughness Cape to keep ourselves healthy. But this hand is amazing. No, just kidding. It's still bad. I think we're dancing on the nets because I want to get a Pokemon established. Well, this can establish a Pokemon, I guess. Phanpy. Alright, you'll do. You'll have to do, my friend. We will hold this hand. Next turn we can re-roll the Wish. Hopefully. Would have been so nice with a Crobat in the active to get the Phanpy there. Again, Donphan pressurizing these Pokemon so quickly is insane. Sad miss. This is kind of why I want more Ball Search in the deck. Like, you've seen the benefits of playing so much Gust in the deck, but those are also the spaces that I want to be Ball Search cards. so it's kind of a catch-22 situation. I just want it all in one deck. Is that so much to ask for? Ooh, a Scrapper going early is so good for us. ADP. ADP that was playing Stamp. No, he gets to see the treat of a hand that we have. Drop the few on him. More E-switches going. Just for the classic attach Intrepid. Very good. Very good. See what we see. I guess it's got to be Marnie then. I don't mind attaching proactively here. I think I just keep all the switch outs. I think we're just napping here. There's no point in us poking a Crobat when we can always insta-kill it with Donphan. Oof. Yeesh, not getting much help out here at all. Not getting much help out here. He's also put the swell down, so we can't 120 into 160 the ADP, which is like an only saving grace kind of move we can make. Yikes. Hopefully Marnie's strong. That's the hope, right? Marnie's not strong. Ooh. Oh. Well, there's a chance he misses. It's only a Marnie for 5. Ooh, survival. You love to see that. You absolutely... Oh, you love to see that. All right. Only one Donphan in the deck because I binned one greedily last turn. That means we've got to go for one of these, right? Proactive Wish. One of Donphan. You hate to see it. Do I want to pitch some tombs? Yeah, kind of want to pitch a tomb here. Because I want to hit my Donphan. And I'll be a sad panda if I don't. I'll be stampeding for 20. Dedenne is an option that I want to keep. Okay, that's too many Spiritombs dying. But I think we have to make the play right. I don't think I'm winning if I'm not hitting this turn. Communication, help us. Oh, why did I say the words? Why did I say the words? Ah. You hate to see it, boys. Ah, you hate to see it. Everything in the wrong order today. Is that a... What is this doing in your deck? Oh my god. We're about to lose to a Skylar. Top 10 things you hate to see. Losing to a Skylar has to be up there. There he is, just in time. The scrapper's gone, so I don't need to worry about that at all. I don't want to put the Donphan stuff in just yet. So we'll just quake in our boots. So, the main problem is it's so routine for him to just announce an attack 3 times. I still need to announce an attack 3 times, unless he randomly puts down another ADP that I can somehow one-shot. Well, I can one-shot them, I just need him to put one down, which he won't. So I think missing Donphan is just losing the game, basically. He's got too many things established. It's the old ADP thing now where it doesn't matter what you do as a one-prize deck. He's established 3 attackers, so all he has to do is now announce attacks to win. And that's just no bueno. So we'll concede on that. It's a shame because we had 2 turns. Well, I mean, first of all, we went first, which was very good. And then Marnie somehow stuck, which then opened up the doors for the Donphan to actually creep us over the line, but we just missed it on that 1 turn. So, really, my closing thoughts on the deck is that I think you got to cut a boss for like an extra Great Ball or the 4th Donphan, because he is so critical. But I do actually think there's legs to this deck. I know we've lost like a couple of the games today, but it doesn't feel... It feels strong to me. Like, I really like the ramp of the Spiritomb. It feels way better than Spiritomb Hooper was from the previous set. And I put way more time... I put, like, a lot of time into that archetype thinking it was good just because 90 turn 1 was good tempo, but then everyone went off Jirachi engines apart from one-prize decks. And Donphan's typing is just a real threat, and it powers up so... Like, 2 Spiritombs getting 2 extra damage on each of them is really, really good. Yeah, so I think, like I said, those Lucky Eggs are kind of spaces to play with. The boss is kind of space to play with, but it's close, you know? There's something here. I don't think it's going to be setting the world alight, because it still is stage 1 and has the fragile early game where you're just Stellar Wish hoping for Great Catcher, or sorry, Great Ball, which then hopes to hit a Phanpy or a Spiritomb, and there are times where it just doesn't do the right thing. And ADP is still around, of course, so I think there's definitely some things to be afraid of, but I think, yeah, seeing Spiritomb late game get to that 200 plus mark is pretty dangerous. There's a lot of multiple prize decks in the format still to cash in on. A nice check to Baby Blands as well to at least go toe-to-toe with it seems promising. So there's a lot to like here. Let me know what you guys think about Donphan Tomb. What would you be cutting to make spaces for potentially more ball search cards? It's always my thing where I just want to play even more simplified lists every single game I play of Pokemon. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're back on PTCGO. There's only a couple completely Vivid Voltage based decks to go over left, and then we'll be looking at updating the good decks in the format in the Vivid Voltage meta. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.